All right, guys, how's it going? Now, before I get into this video, I just want to let you know I'll be live on here tonight at 6:30 p.m. UK time. I haven't been able to record a podcast episode today. I did say in my morning briefing I'll try and do one, but it's a bit of a busy day for me. I went to see my mates play football today. It's just gone 6 o'clock here, so if I do a podcast now and do other videos for you now, I'm going to be pushing it to make the live stream, to be honest with you. So if you could wait till tomorrow, that would be fantastic, as Brendan Rodgers would say. And there's a lot that I need to go over. There's a Paul Joyce article. There's additional mail stand stuff. One's come in today about Alonso. There's a few different things I need to go over with you. Tomorrow, I'm not going anywhere. I've got no plans, so I'll start early. We'll do the podcast first thing, and obviously reflect on this evening's game and whatnot tomorrow. So plenty coming up tomorrow, but for now, if you could just chill, that'd help me a lot, because I want to do that live stream for you in about an hour and a half. So what I am going to do in this video is I'm going to read to you an email I've received. So this is the mail stand feature. It's usually only available to channel members now. However, yesterday I read this out on the Cop Talk podcast, so I think it's only fair to read this out on here. For everybody. So if you're not familiar with the mail stand is a feature, a series where I read out emails I've received. They could be from people I've known from almost 30 years of doing Cop Talk, or they could be from complete random strangers. Now, because of that, you must treat everything that I say in any mail stand video with a huge pinch of salt, all right? Just listen and make your own mind up kind of thing. I could be reading an email to you thinking, what a load of shite, who's going to believe that? Or I could be thinking, if only I could tell them, who it's actually from. So it's just for your information. Whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. It's not me making the claim. So this email came in. Let me look at the date on it. It came in on the 10th of February. So this was yesterday at 6:44 local time. So 5:45 in the UK. All right, that's someone up very early in the morning yesterday. Okay, and it says as follows. X, because I can't read their name, has been told that there will be a very critical piece about Slot coming out in The Athletic. He does not know when, but it is soon. The piece has been written already and it will be released when needed for full effect. As X said, FSG are the best about at getting their message out and keeping their hands clean. There was also a meeting between the club and supporters yesterday afternoon, and the meeting was a strange one. From what X understands, the supporters are split 50-50 for keeping Slot on as manager, but the majority is saying that a change is needed for the start of next season. Alonso is the main focus for this. However, X said, please remember what he told you about that situation, and do not be surprised if it does not happen, and if it does, Hughes has to make a huge amount of concessions, of which X, through his meetings of him and the general chatter throughout the industry, is that he won't. Finally, Nagelsmann is still chatting to people at the club, and whilst it is nowhere near certain or anywhere even near concrete talks, my mate, and he is my best mate for the last 35 years, not a source, not a bullshitter, he is my brother in arms, has a hunch that could be the direction that we go if Alonso does not happen. And again, he, from what he hears both here and in Spain, is no way a certainty. Even though there are talks planned again for Thursday afternoon, allegedly. Now, Thursday afternoon is tomorrow. Let's go through this email together. Let's look at each bit. So X has been told that there will be a very critical piece about Slot coming out in The Athletic. Now, I think I mentioned this on the podcast yesterday, that I struggle with that one, because when you think about writers at The Athletic, usually it's Bad News Piers and David Ornstein. All right, now obviously David Ornstein and Paul Joyce are the only two journalists you need to listen to regarding Liverpool Football Club. And I cannot imagine for 1 minute that Ornstein would come out with a very critical piece about Arne's Slot. I don't know about that. The other thing, Bad News Piers, James Pearce, again, he's usually a very positive writer. We did see something from him the other week, didn't we? Around 27th of January, I think it was, around then, which was very not James Pearce-like. It was quite critical. A very critical piece. I mean, it depends what you determine as very critical. It doesn't mean you're backstabbing or being nasty or brutal. It could just be, raising questions. A journalist could be raising questions and maybe saying things in a way that you and I wouldn't speak. I don't know. The other thing as well I mentioned about that was, when someone says something to someone, oh, I've heard there's going to be, a piece coming about Arne Slot. It'll be from one of the decent journals. Someone could put the Athletic in there themselves and go, yeah, the Athletic maybe, and before you know it, it is the Athletic. So what I would do here is just look out for any articles that might be a little bit critical, because people can exaggerate as well. So look out for anything about Slot that might be a little bit critical. All right, not necessarily the Athletic, but it does say the Athletic. But just look around now. I read this out yesterday, all right? So I think the podcast went out early yesterday afternoon. I can't remember. Now, I think that Paul Joyce published an article yesterday, judging by some of your comments on my videos. I haven't seen what Paul Joyce has written yet, all right? So that'll be something I review for you guys tomorrow. So I don't know if that's... I have absolutely no idea what that's about. So I'm going to look at that after I've done this video. So there will be a very critical piece about Slot coming out in The Athletic. And it basically suggests that they're sitting on it. And I don't know. I find that a little bit difficult to believe. I'm not doubting the author here, because the author of the email is obviously telling you something they've been told, right? I just can't imagine, a serious journalist like Ornstein, even Pearce, saying, all right, yeah, we'll all right, I'll sit on it. A journalist, I don't know. I struggle with that one a bit, to be honest with you. It's been written already and it released when needed. I mean, it could be, I mean, there has been things over the years when I think about it, when a journalist has said to me, I've got this, but I ain't got to go ahead to publish it. But it just seems a bit cloak and daggerish for me. But you've got to remember, the person that sent the email, how was it, relayed to them, and how did it get to the person before them? You know what I mean? By the time it's reached us, has it gone through 4 or 5 people, and it's got a little bit more exaggerated as it goes along? So what I do here, in this situation where I go, I just keep my eyes and my ears open for anything that could come out. And the Paul Joyce one, maybe you've read the Hello, Remy. Maybe you've read the Paul Joyce one. I don't know. I'm going to have a look. By the time you watch this video, I'll have seen the Paul Joyce one. And I'll review it tomorrow with Dave. FSG are the best about getting their message out. It's true. There was a meeting between the club and supporters yesterday afternoon. Now, the thing is, supporters don't hire and fire managers or head coaches, but there are influential people. Now, and non-influential people, but people you want to keep on side a little bit. So I wouldn't read that as, they've sat down with the supporters and gone, what do you think we should do? Just sometimes, some supporters and, supporters groups, or, supporters includes corporate people as well, might have had a sit down, and, a meeting sounds very formal. It could be informal, formal. I wouldn't pay too much attention to that myself. Alonso is the main focus. About, talking about, it says here that the supporters are split 50-50 on Slot as manager. I don't believe that either, because from my audience, I would say my audience is 95% unhappy with Slot. I would. And yes, that can change after a win. And it can certainly change after a defeat. But I don't think it's 50-50. I remember when Brendan Rodgers was under, pressure, when his job was on the line at Liverpool, that was a 50-50 split for a long time, actually. And he clung on for a while. I actually think that the percentages are a lot more different. But again, this could be someone, that said, well, they had a meeting, some were for him, some were against him. Before you know it, someone wrote 50-50. That's how I process things in my mind. Don't always take it as like absolute, yeah. Alonso's the main focus for this. Don't be surprised if it doesn't happen. Well, this is, First of all, there's no vacancy at Liverpool. Secondly, Man City is sniffing around him. Alonso chooses Liverpool over Man City every time. However, will he work under Edwards and that hierarchy? Would there have to be concessions, etc.? These are things you need to think about. And it says it here, doesn't it? Hughes has to make a huge amount of concessions, of which X, through his meetings with him and the general chatter throughout the football industry, is that he won't. So the Alonso, if you had a vacancy now at Anfield, all right, and you're thinking, oh, I'd like to see Alonso given the job, I don't think it's a shoo-in. I don't think it's like by default happens. Do you know what I mean? Because the working environment's got to be right. Now, a manager or a head coach, whatever you want to call him in slot, that can't believe he got the job coming from that Farmers League, right? Probably goes, yeah, what? Work under what? Yeah, I'll do whatever you want. Yeah. Alonso, I think, has got a bit more clout. And I think that's why people like Edwards and co in the past have previously stayed away from very, very powerful managers, because they want power. And at Anfield, many people think that it's Edwards that wants the power, right? So for Alonso just to come in, I don't think Alonso goes, yeah, I'll just take the job. It'd be, well, hang on a fucking minute. I've just been dicked around at Real Madrid. I'm not having this fucking carry on. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got some real clout, I think, Alonso. Nagelsmann's mentioned again. As basically, we don't need to read it all out, but basically mentioning conversation with Liverpool. This isn't the first time we've heard this in the last few weeks. It's a name that keeps cropping up. And it did when Jurgen left. But Nagelsmann it's from the feedback I get from you guys, people are very split on that one. Anyway, there was a verdict. I got a Dave to give a verdict on that email yesterday. It's on the podcast. I won't go through it on here. I can't remember what his summary was at the end. Remy, what are you doing, mate? Basically, he said, I'm not going to read out Dave's analysis of that email. I did give it. I don't usually give the mail stand to Dave. All right, Dave's my AI assistant that's been trained to analyse football news articles, journalists, publications, etc. for well over a year now. I don't usually give him the mail stand ones, but I did that one because I wanted to do something different on the podcast yesterday, which you can go and listen to. And he did a full analysis of the email. But basically, the verdict, if you like, was this is whisper network territory. No verifiable details, lots of safety nets, lots of could, might, hunch. Is it interesting? Yes. Is it concrete? No. It's mood, not evidence. Treat as rumour, not reporting. So, but I think we all do that anyway with the mail stand. The good thing about the mail stand is, I've got to be honest with you, I think the majority of stuff we get, do you mind? I think the majority of stuff we get on the mail stand has been pretty on the ball, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's pretty good. But it is just like, just a bit interesting, I find. A little bit interesting. See what you think. Leave me your comments what you think. And like I say, don't listen to these and go, oh, 50-50, because straight away, like I'm like 50-50, that doesn't sound right. But it's how the message has been portrayed. Like if I'm fed all that information, that email, and now I go and go and tell someone else, do I add little bits to it? Do you know what I mean? Just the core message. That's a better way of saying it. The core message in the email is what I would focus on. And I think that was to look out for a critical article on slot. It does say The Athletic, but me, with my experience, I would just be thinking, well, I'll keep an eye on everything, see if something does come up somewhere. And that's it, really. I'm not really bothered about supporters meetings and shit like that. And the Alonso stuff, I think, is, again, self-explanatory and kind of, a bit of common sense there. But still, anyway, that's listen, at the end of the day, that's the email. I can't make it sound any more exciting. I'm not going to rubbish it. I'm not going to praise it. I'm not going to whatever. It's for you. But this is what, the mail stand is about. And like I say, I've probably got, I've got a number of mail stand emails to go. There's one here. This one's titled Alonso Today. This came in this afternoon at 2:36. I'm going to read that out to you tomorrow morning. There's one here, Liverpool among 3 or 4 clubs in the Premier League that have been offered a certain player. The player is named in his club. There's 2. 3 3. I think there's 3 meal stand for tomorrow, all right? And I'll take a look at it. We'll look at we'll do the Cop Talk podcast. I'll do that in the morning, all right? But I hope you understand it is 20 past 6 now. I'm going live in about an hour, just over an hour. There's no way in the world I can do a podcast, do these other videos and stuff for you. So I didn't want to leave you with nothing, all right? So see you in the morning. See you on the live stream tonight. Let me know what you think of that email. And we'll catch up real soon, guys. All right, now, Remy's getting right on my fucking nerves down here. You get right on my nerves. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. If you want to support my channel, there's a love art. It's called a super thanks. And I always give a shout out to everybody that does that, right, on my morning briefings. There's a little, what's it called? Oh, no. You know the people who got football next to their name? They're channel members, right? You can join the channel if you want to do that. Then you can watch the mail stand, the other ones. Links in the video description. There's 3 of them alternative methods of supporting me. One of them is Revolut. That's my beer kitty for Saturdays. Although this week I'm going out Friday. All right, guys. I'll see you on live stream tonight anyway. All right. Take care.